Your credit score is a super important metric related to your financial health that can realistically affect a ton of different aspects throughout your life. But the problem is the importance of your credit score is not taught in schools, and the credit scoring system can be pretty confusing to the point to where most people don't truly understand how impactful your credit score can be. When in reality, a good credit score can be the difference on whether you get accepted on a credit card application, receive a good interest rate on a mortgage or car loan, and can ultimately save you thousands and thousands of dollars throughout your lifetime. But if your credit score is simply not in the position that you want it to be at, or you need to increase your credit score for an application or purchase that you have coming up, then don't worry, because in this video, I'm going to discuss 5 easy ways to increase your credit score in 2023. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Okay, so before I get into the 5 easy ways to increase your credit score in 2023, you first need to understand what your credit score is and why it's important. So basically, your credit score is a score that is given to you based on a couple different factors that determine how reliable you are and how likely it is that you're going to pay back a loan on time. In simpler terms, this is basically like you're taking a test in school and your teacher is the credit union and they're handing you out a grade, and that grade is your credit score. And that 3-digit score is one of the most important yet underappreciated metrics, not only in finance, but in your life overall. Whenever you apply for a mortgage, car loan, credit card, or apartment, lenders will take a look at your credit score and determine your credit worthiness and how reliable you are with your credit. Then, based on what your credit score is, lenders will decide whether to accept or reject you for different types of loans and applications. And for something like a mortgage, your credit score will determine the interest rate that you end up needing to pay. So the higher the credit score, translating to a lower amount of interest that you need to pay, or in other words, saving you thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay, so now that you know why your credit score is important, let's briefly discuss the characteristics that make up your credit score in the first place. So the components that are going to be included in your credit score are going to be 35% for your payment history, 30% for your amounts owed, 15% for the length of your credit history, 10% for your credit mix, and 10% for your new credit. The purpose of this video is to talk about different strategies that can help you optimize all the different components that make up your credit score. And so if your credit score is not necessarily where you want it to be at, then thankfully I do have a solution for you, because I'm now going to go over 5 easy ways to increase your credit score in 2023. The first way to increase your credit score in 2023, which is one of the easiest things to do and is naturally one of the first steps that you should take, is to become an authorized user. An authorized user is essentially someone who has been added to a credit card account by the primary cardholder of that account. So for example, if your brother had the American Express Platinum, then he would be considered the primary cardholder for that account, and he could add you to that account as an authorized user. Then as the authorized user, you can make purchases with that credit card as if it was your own, and as the authorized user, that account will be added to your credit report. So since that account will be added to your credit report, you do want to be selective with who you ask to become an authorized user, and you definitely don't want to become an authorized user on a credit card account that has a bunch of late payments, because that will hurt your credit score. But if you were able to be added as an authorized user on an account that, let's say, has been in existence for a couple of years and has always made on-time payments, then you will assume the positive credit history on that account on your credit report. And this can be one of the quickest ways to drastically increase your credit score, especially if you yourself have a shorter credit history. Probably the best use of this strategy is to ask one of your parents to become an authorized user on one of their credit card accounts, because they will inevitably have a longer credit history than you. So especially if you were younger, let's say in your early 20s, and have a minimal credit history, then this is one of the easiest and quickest ways to add some credit history and increase your credit score so that you can get approved on your own credit card applications in the future. The second easy way to increase your credit score in 2023 is to always make sure that you are making on-time payments. Paying your credit card bill every month might seem pretty obvious, but what most people don't understand is how impactful missing just one payment can be for your credit score. Any late payment can stay on your credit report for up to 7 years, and your payment history is the largest factor in your credit score at about 35%, so this can really weigh down your credit score overall. However, on the flip side, consistently making on-time and in full payments is one of the most positive things that you can do in terms of increasing your credit score, due to how impactful your payment history is for your credit score. Technically, in order for your payment to be on time, you do just need to pay the minimum monthly payment, but I do think you should make it a habit of instead paying the monthly statement balance. And the reason for this is because when you just pay the monthly minimum payment, you are in compliance with making an on-time payment, so this does not negatively impact your credit score, but you still will be charged with interest. However, when you pay off the entire monthly statement balance, you not only make an on-time payment, but you also avoid having to pay any interest. So now that you know the importance of consistently making on-time payments and how it can allow you to increase your credit score in 2023, how do you ensure that you are doing so? Well, I would say the best way to ensure that you are consistently making on-time payments is to put some systems in place so that you automatically do so. What I mean by that is that pretty much every credit card issuer has a feature called autopay, which allows you to automatically pay off your balance every month without you having to manually do anything. Ultimately, making on-time payments is one of the simplest things that you can do, but also one of the most impactful due to how much it can change the direction of your credit score. All right, next up, the third easy way to increase your credit score in 2023 is going to be to ask for credit limit increases. Now, sometimes credit card issuers will automatically give you a credit limit increase if a certain amount of time has passed, your income has increased, or something like that. But you can always take this into your own hands by manually asking for a credit limit increase, either by filling out an application on that credit card issuer's website or by giving them a call and asking them over the phone. Basically, you'll state what you want your new credit limit to be, and then the credit card issuer will either accept, reject, or counteroffer your request. By the way, if you want me to make a full video on this topic, then I can definitely do a full breakdown on exactly how to ask for a credit limit increase. So if you want me to do that, then just let me know down in the comments. Okay, so now let's discuss why asking for a credit limit increase is going to increase your credit score in 2023. Basically, this all comes down to credit utilization, which makes up 30% of your credit score. And your credit utilization ratio is basically your credit card balance divided by your credit limit. So to provide an example, let's say that you have the Chase Freedom Unlimited and you have a credit limit on that card of $5,000 and your credit card balance is $500. Well, if we then do the math and divide that credit card balance by your credit limit, then we would get a credit utilization of 10%, which is pretty good because you always want your credit utilization to be under 30%, but optimally under 10%. But if you were then able to submit a request and get approved for a credit limit increase, to increase your credit limit from $5,000 to $10,000, then if you use the same credit utilization equation, apply the higher credit limit and assume that you keep your credit card balance the same, your credit utilization would come out to 5%. So asking for a credit limit increase is one of the best ways to lower your credit utilization, and ultimately you want your credit utilization to be as low as possible, and that's because credit utilization, or in other words, amounts owed, is 30% of your credit score, and keeping your credit utilization as low as possible is going to allow you to positively increase your credit score in 2023. Really quick, before I move on to the fourth easy way to increase your credit score in 2023, if you've been enjoying this video so far, then do me a huge favor and subscribe down below, as it helps support the channel and I would really appreciate it. So let's say it's too early for you to ask for a credit limit increase, or maybe you got denied on your credit limit increase request. Well, don't worry, because there is still a path to lowering your credit utilization and thereby increasing your credit score. And that leads me into the fourth easy way to increase your credit score in 2023, and that is going to be to pay off any high balances. So to exhibit what I mean by this fourth easy way to increase your credit score, let's take a look at that example that I just discussed. In that previous example, you have the Chase Freedom Unlimited, which has a credit limit of $5,000. Your balance is $500, and so you have a credit utilization of 10%. But again, let's say that you are not able to get a credit limit increase, and so you need to go to Plan B. Well, Plan B, which is also a great option, is going to be to make an early payment and pay down some of the balance before the statement closing date. Basically, your credit utilization is only reported to credit bureaus after your statement closing date, so you have an opportunity to bring down your credit utilization if you're able to make an early payment before then. For instance, if I was able to make an early payment of $450 before my statement closing date, then I could decrease my balance from $500 to just $50. And then when you take a look at the credit utilization equation, I would have a balance of $50 and a credit limit of $5,000, which would give me a credit utilization of 1%. I personally love to keep my credit utilization anywhere from like 1 to 3% because it keeps my credit utilization low while still showing to the credit card issuers that I am using their credit cards. Ultimately, paying off high balances is a great way to lower your credit utilization, which again is a fantastic way to increase your credit score in 2023. Okay, the fifth and final way to increase your credit score in 2023 is to always look at the different downgrade and retention offers that you could have before you cancel a credit card. Sometimes you might have a credit card that has an annual fee that for whatever reason you don't get enough value from anymore, and so you think you need to cancel it. However, the problem is one of the worst things that you can do for your credit score is going to be to cancel a credit card. The reason for this mainly comes down to the fact that 15% of your credit score is going to be based on the length of your credit history, and you want the length of your credit history to be as long as possible. So especially if you close one of your oldest credit card accounts, then this significantly decreases the length of your credit history. But many times, if you have an annual fee credit card, especially within an ecosystem like Chase, you'll have many opportunities to downgrade that annual fee credit card into a no annual fee credit card. For instance, if you have a card like the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which has an annual fee of $550, and you no longer get enough value from the Chase Sapphire Reserve, then you can downgrade the Sapphire Reserve to a card like the Chase Freedom Flex, which does not have an annual fee. Basically, when you downgrade a credit card, it still keeps that credit account open, which does not negatively affect your credit score because the length of your credit history remains the same. Plus, no annual fee credit cards have no downside and no reason to cancel. So if you have a no annual fee credit card, and even if you don't really use it anymore, then still keep it open and just put a small recurring charge on that card. Okay, but let's say the annual fee credit card that you have does not have any viable downgrade options. Well, we still want to do everything we can to avoid needing to cancel that card, because again, canceling a credit card is going to negatively impact your credit score. So the next thing that you can do if you have an annual fee credit card that you are not getting enough value from is going to be to ask for a retention offer. A retention offer is basically going to be given to you in the form of a mini welcome bonus, giving you a certain amount of points, or even completely waiving the annual fee for an entire year. The point of a retention offer is to simply give you enough value to postpone canceling a specific credit card and then reevaluating that decision at a later date. So those are 5 easy ways to increase your credit score in 2023. So are any of you guys currently using any of the strategies that I discussed? Or maybe you're using some other strategies. And if you are, just let me know down in the comments because I'm curious to hear about them. Also, if you're planning to get a new credit card in 2023, then go check out this video where I discuss the top 8 best credit cards for 2023. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace.